Welcome to the High Vibe Moms Club, the podcast for ambitious women ready to ditch burnout, diet culture, and mom guilt so they can feel hot, healthy, and radiant from the inside out. I'm your host, Shannon, and this isn't just another wellness podcast. It's a movement. If you're ready to raise your vibe, reset your health, and step into your most confident self, you're in the right place. All right. Welcome to another episode of High Vibe Moms Club. Today's guest, we have Amy. She is the founder of Unbound Motherhood and the author of Olea. Did I say that right?
Yeah, exactly.
The Magical Sleep Fairy. She's an entrepreneur turned motherhood mentor who knows firsthand what it feels like to be overwhelmed, exhausted, and drowning in those bedtime battles. And after having two babies under two and realizing traditional parenting parenting advice just wasn't working, she discovered a new approach using human design. So that is what we're going to dive in today. So get ready, mama. This conversation is going to shift the way you see parenting and motherhood. And I am so excited, Amy, that you're here with us because I am in the thick of it. Last night, my little girl woke me up 3 times and we're still breastfeeding. And
Yeah.
I got to the point where my husband's like, just put her in the crib. And we co-sleep. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. So I am so happy. The timing is great to have a sleep fairy here today.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. I'm thrilled to be here. And yes, you are in the thick of it, and that is okay. I know how exhausting that can be over and over again. So I'm here for it.
Yay. Okay. So I was doing I like to always read about who I'm having on. And previously, you were a successful real estate entrepreneur. And what was the moment that you decided in motherhood that something has to change?
Yeah, you're right. I had a very successful real estate business. I had my children when I was 31. That is correct. So I am like a lot older now. But so I was already like I had that single life up until 31 and I didn't, and then all of a sudden I had children or I had one child and then that was okay because I could cart him around and then I had Jack and then all of a sudden now I'm getting woken up not just once at night, but now it's probably like 3 or 4 times. And then I really felt like even pregnancy was hard on my body and then it was like compounded no sleep. And then literally by the time Max was 5, my oldest was 5, or no, 4. So it was 5 years of all of this compounded no sleep. Something had to give. Like I didn't feel like I was their dad and we never got married, but I didn't feel like I was a good, in quotation wife or like my real estate career was like, I was exhausted showing my clients. And then my kids were just getting me grumpy because all my nerves were frayed. Right. So, the one moment that everything kind of changed was this one night when Jack came into my room and he kicked me in the back like whatever, they're just trying to cuddle you or whatever, but it was just like I was just instantly pissed and went into the living room and I was just like on a mad rabbit hunt for what I could do. And I've tried everything. I tried the lavender sprays, the warm milk, the nice bed bath and all this kind of stuff. And then I thought to myself, like sporadic moment of all time, if there's a tooth fairy for teeth, there's gotta be a sleep fairy for sleep, right? This was like a lightning bolt. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I go and look for her and she's nowhere to be found. And I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I'm gonna make her up. We love Santa. We love the Easter Bunny. We love all the things.
Yes.
That's when this whole thing kind of came about.
I love that. No, that's so good. I actually had 2 of my boys, they were in their own room And then once baby sis was born, my second kept coming back into the room. And at the time, he's like 3.5. And same thing. He would come and I'm irritated and frustrated. It's the middle of the night that now all 5 of us sleep in the same room.
And you
We
know
all try to
what?
sleep together because I'm like, what other option do we have?
Well, and that's just it. Like you're just so exhausted and you're just like everyone just nobody like stop talking. Everyone just stop talking. Like let's just
Mhm.
calm down, stop crying, stop fighting. Like let's just all relax. And that's what ends up happening. And no one even really talks about it, to be honest with you. Like it's always just like, oh yeah, we put him to bed in his big boy bed or his crib or whatever. But it's like that constant no sleep because it's just feet and hands and breathing and like, punches to the face and all the
Laying
kind
on milk. Yes.
of yeah, so I
Yes.
totally get it. And I was just losing myself. I didn't even recognize myself, I mean, the frustration level was just and the irritation. And I'm not like an irritable type of
Mhm.
person. I'm usually pretty chill, but like literally 5 years of no sleep. Yeah, I was done. I was done.
Okay, so now tell us a little bit more. I know that we've talked about human design previously before jumping on the call, but is this book and human design, do they coexist or is it two separate things that you work on with moms and babies?
Yeah, so the sleep fairy was the first thing that kind of originated, right? And it was really like bringing that imagination piece and meeting your child where your child was at. And
Mhm.
really, when I brought in the imagination piece, it literally ignited my kids' imagination and they wanted to go to sleep because they wanted to please this fairy. And
Mhm.
we made her cookies and night lights and got a special blanket and all the kind of things. So I really brought the magic in instead of, just that Santa Claus be good or whatever, that kind of thing. I
Yeah,
used
yeah,
her,
yeah.
like leverage, and it just actually worked so beautifully. And I had her for like the whole year. I could use her in and out or that sort of thing.
Mhm, mhm.
And and honestly, we had Sleep Fairy in our home for about 2, 3 years,
Okay.
because um, so kind of the Sleep Fairy, just so that you guys can know, is I had it on a 5-day rotation. So if the kids went to like I would pick out some, 5 of my like pain points, like go to bed when mom says, like one book and then
Mhm.
we're done. And when you wake up in the morning, play quietly. If you get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, go back to bed and don't wake up
Mhm.
anybody else. If you can do this 5 days in a row, because now it's like a goal for them, and they're like, and then the sleep fairy will bring a little quiet toy underneath your pillow in the middle of the night. So I got like the dollar store Lego sets, and my son
Yeah,
Jack was
yeah.
actually talking about that the other day. He's like, "The Lego sets were the bomb, Mom." I'm like, okay.
I
But
love
like
that.
they loved it. And we had like a calendar and put stars and stickers on it. And it really it flopped like from a nightmare, disastrous evening to try to get these kids to bed and no sleep. When I brought the sleep fairy in, it instantly worked the first night. I was floored. Like
That's amazing.
I did not sleep that night because I was like wondering if everyone in the house was dead. Like, what is happening? Why is no one coming? Like, I was shocked. And I wrote the sleep for very story out. And I'm like, I need to tell every single mom alive that is like having trouble with this so that she can also start enjoying this motherhood experience that's so beautiful, but you're just so run down, you can't enjoy it. So
Yes, I love that.
that was the sleep very part. And then once I started working with moms, I started learning about human design years later. And
Mhm.
I really started like, oh, I just love it. It was just like this golden little nugget that I got to put onto the sleep fairy. And are you familiar with human design?
Yes, I actually am. And for our listeners who are like, what is human design? I was going to actually ask you to give a little overview of it because with my business, I downloaded my human design profile based on like where I was born, the time I was born, all of that kind of stuff to help me like understand who I am and why I do the things that I do. And then I downloaded the profiles for my whole family to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. My husband's a projector and my other son is a projector, and that's why they do things a certain way. But that was a year ago, and then I was like, okay, I read it, and then didn't do anything else with it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And human design it's kind of a funny one to explain to people if you've never ever heard of it. Like it actually goes on the exact time, date, and birth that you were born, that your
Mhm,
children were born and anything. But I like to explain it like this. So imagine every single human is a vehicle. One person's a race car, fast and focused. One person is a sailboat, slow and sensitive. One's an SUV, a hybrid, and like steady and reliable. But what
mhm,
happens is when we're parents, we're all parenting, treating everybody like they're Fords, the same manual, the same gas, the same like road trip, everything. And we're raising these kids whether they're like we're treating them all like Fords when one could be a dirt bike, one could be a race car, one could be an SUV.
mhm,
So
mhm,
once we learn that human design, which is really like the the vehicle, you showing you who your child is as the vehicle, right? It's showing you, is it the race car? Is it the any of these kind of things? And then we bring it in and then we can match their energy, match the way that they are responding or make decisions. And when we learn this as a mom and bring this
mhm,
forward to help raise our child, it like instantly reduces friction. Doesn't matter what age they are, whether they're at sleep fairy age or my kids' age now that they're 16 and 14. I
mhm.
still use human design right now with the kids and just in this teenager year. And I will tell you, it has helped a lot with friction or lack thereof.
Yes. No, it's funny because every phase of childhood and with parents brings on new challenges because I have friends who have older kids and all they're like, "Oh yeah, you're in the sleepless night phase." But then the next phase has its own challenges and battles, and like each phase it brings on new things to work on. I think parenting and business is like personal growth crazy because it forces you to look deeper on who you are, who your kids are, on patience, all the things that
Mhm.
a lot of people don't actually get the pleasure of having this growth journey. But with that, can you unpack a little bit more if somebody, let's say, would you recommend that each mama listening downloads an app or something to identify their human design, or come to you and ask like, "Hey, I'm a manifesting generator, so is my daughter, but my son is a projector. Like, how do I navigate the
Yeah, for
differences?"
sure. Absolutely. Well, this is exactly what I do. So I have treats for all of you guys. If you go to unboundmotherhood.com, you can put in all your information and you'll get an 18-page report on you yourself 1,000%. So it'll be
Mhm,
totally on you. And you'll go through like the superpowers and your type and your profile, and it'll give you a lot of insights. It's written for the mom. So, but you can also pull your child's chart from that, and you can learn a lot about it from there as well.
mhm, mhm,
Now, you're going to get that 18-page report. And if you also pull your child's report on that, I also have a private podcast series, which is called the Bedtime Reset series. And you can go through and you'll learn exactly things that you can implement tonight. So that's going to be great. And if you want to take it one step further, you guys can book a call with me to do a sleep audit with what's going on in your family. And then I
mhm.
have a promo code is podcast VIP. So then you don't have to pay for the call. But
Okay.
so those will be some really good solid steps for your listeners to kind of get the gist of what's going on there. And it's super fun too and crazy accurate.
Yes, yes. Okay, I'll definitely link all those in the show notes. So, what have you said what do you think has been like your biggest win or strength or challenge now that you have, maybe for yourself or maybe one of your clients, now that they have downloaded the human design 18 page, they've gone through it? What was like a biggest win? Like, okay, now I'm understanding my child's emotions a little bit better and I can navigate who they are and their wiring or anything like that. What's a big one?
What's a big one? I think it's just overall awareness, and it's almost like a permission slip of what is going on naturally in your body. Like when you learn your profile, just basically of who you are in your core bones, and you just flow with that. Like for instance, like I'm a manifesting generator, so 1-4, and I'm like, pew, 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 pew. Some people can think of that as like squirrel, but for me, I just
And
like trying, I just love trying totally different new things, and I'm always bouncing and going on. And then, like your husband who is a projector, like literally he is so focused on his work that he doesn't need to work 8 hours a day. He's more like, 4 hours a day kind of a guy, like in and out, get it done, concentrated. And if he does more, he's probably exhausted. So it's
mhm,
learning these, like you already know these things inside of you. And I always say it's almost like a mother's intuition on steroids because now you can see what's going on with your kid, but when you're so exhausted and tapping out for like a breath of fresh air and a glass of water,
mhm.
you can't even see what's going on. You know what I mean? And then if you're at that sleeping stage, it's just it just poof happens, where it's like,
Yeah.
holy, this is I have a client and she her son wets the bed and he's actually I think about 9 or something like that. So last
Oh,
year
that's
we oh poor guy, he's just like, one of those things. So we actually implemented the sleep fairy with him when he was 8, and it was we instead of like, instead of if you get up in the middle of the night, whatever, and if you pee your bed, we got it set up so that his whole bed was like ready for him to just pull it off with like the plastic layer underneath it. And if he puts
mhm,
it to the
mhm.
side and then helps himself back to bed, then instead of like getting up the whole family in a big huge production, and
Yeah.
then he would get like, it was like this reward system, and it worked for him, and that sort of thing. And plus he was a generator. So we had to learn how to expel his energy at the end of the night. So it's like this combination of things. It's just so fun.
Yes. Okay, so I know you mentioned with the sleep fairy, you kind of have like a routine, and some kids do thrive. I mean, a lot of us thrive on those strict routines. But then there's people like my husband and one of my kids, they just want freedom. They don't want, an exact routine. They want to do what they want to do when they want to do it. So, how can human design help us figure out what our child's needs are? So then that way it's not this constant of like butting of heads and that power struggle for
Mhm.
sleep, food, anything that we need to get them to sports, whatever it may be.
Yeah, okay. So I'll give you an example of my kids. So Max is my oldest one. He is a manifester. So he wants to be in charge. This guy wants to have autonomy and he wants to be able to call the shots. Jack, on the other hand, he's a generator and he's like, go, 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 like very busy. So and he's sacral energy, this guy. So he's like a yes, no kind of a guy. Like that's how he makes his decisions. So I really
Mhm.
use that with him. Like, hey, Jack, do you want this or do you want that? Whether it comes
Okay.
for bedtime or this and that, and then that sort of thing. And for Max, same kind of question, but I would just pivot it a little bit and be like, hey, Max, bedtime's in 15 minutes. What are you choosing to do tonight first? Are you going to be having a bath or are you going to be brushing your teeth? And it's his choice. I've given him some space where he can decide that on his own. And because he is more like that, then it's an easy flow. Mom, I'm going to go have a shower and then I'm going to perfect, good. It still happens, but I'm following what his
Hmm.
energy is needing. And for Jack, he just wants the yes, no. So I gotta just think of things to ask him that are, yes, do you want this book or this book?
Yes. Oh, that's so good. And like light bulbs, because bedtime routines are such a struggle. And it's like my oldest son, it's literally like fighting and he's crying. He doesn't want to do it. So it sounds like it's initial work up first, just navigating the types. So then that way you can have a better understanding. But once you kind of have a plan, then it's easier because you could say, okay, this or this, or just so it sounds like upfront, okay, learning the differences. And then after that, it'll be easier long term because now you have a plan to navigate the different type of human designs.
Well, when you learn there, you're totally bang on. When you learn yourself and your child's human design, it's just learning at one time because it's never going to change. It's always the
Mhm.
same. Now you can learn deeper and deeper and go further and further and just like it's just breakthrough after breakthrough, right? What is your son?
The one I have to look at his chart again. One is a projector and the other one is a generator.
Hmm.
And then my daughter
So
is a manifesting generator like me.
yeah. So with the generator, and my son Jack is a generator as well, and lot of energy. A lot of energy is happening there. That's the sacral
Yeah.
energy. It's like boom, 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 boom. You're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So what really works with Jack, and this sounds crazy, but take your little buddy out for a trampoline, a swim in the lake, a
That's
run
what we
around
do.
the
Oh my
block, all the things, get it out of him. And then also, depending on his chart, like he might want to like talk to you at the end of the night. My Jack is a big
God.
talker. He wants to tell me about his day and blah, 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 blah. Some of them will want
Mhm.
to talk it out and some will want to write it out. But yeah, give him that, an hour before bed. We're all going for a walk, a run, or whatever you're doing. And that's
Mhm.
how he can expel his energy. That's what generators need to do, whether you're an adult or a child. I tell my brother this, he's a generator too. I'm like, William, you need to like go for a run in the middle of the day or whatever, like, and because you have to like expel your energy. Otherwise, he won't sleep, this guy, and it makes me crazy. But it's once you learn this, it's like it's just gold, right?
Yeah, now that you said that, it makes sense because last night it's like we're getting ready for bath time. He's like, "Can't you just jump on the trampoline with me just for a few minutes?" So we're like jumping on the trampoline. And he's like, "Okay, well now let's swing." And I'm like, "Okay, we already swung earlier." And he's like, "No, no, I need to swing some more." And here I'm thinking he's just trying to prolong getting in the bath.
Hmm.
But now I understand, okay, no, he literally just needs to burn off his energy because I'm like, we just ate dinner. Why are we going back outside? It's dark. Why are we jumping on the trampoline? It's 8:30. Like, let's go.
I know. I used to do that with Max and Jack. We would do nighttime trampoline, like in the dark, with like the flashlights and bring it out there and make it like a thing. But I would start the bedtime routine thing about an hour and a half, 2 hours before bed. Not that it's a nighttime routine, but okay, what do I got to fit in, right? To make
Mhm.
my evening, my quiet time more chill. We got to go and do an activity. I gotta make sure that it's like super fun, gotta expel the energy, make sure all of these things are in place. And you know what? In the process of it, it creates memories. Like my kids
Yeah.
love doing jumping in the trampoline in the middle of the night. Love it. Who doesn't love that with a flashlight?
Yes, that is so fun. No, I absolutely love everything that you shared. And there's been so many light bulbs. And I hope for all of the mamas listening too, that I'm sure they're already clicking the link like, what do I need to download? I need to know all the things. So thank you so much for sharing all of these golden takeaways for us because yes, this interview today was short and sweet, but I feel like you've hit all of these amazing points. Is there anything that I know for the mom that's overwhelmed and all these things all these questions I had, you've already shared with your personal story. So thank you.
You are
Uh,
so welcome. You are so welcome. No, a lot of people ask me, they when they come to me, this is a thing. People are like, I'm actually don't feel like I have the mom gene. Like, and they're crying
Oh.
and they're so sad. They're like, I'm not enjoying it. My kid is like always making noise. Nothing is working. Sometimes it's not working. Sometimes it is working. I'm afraid to the ends. Like, this is like legitimately heartbreaking. And this is why I'm in this business, is
Mhm.
because every mother should enjoy the motherhood experience. And it's
Mhm.
so difficult, but it also is so easy to tap into. It's just everyone is like saying, do this, do that, do this. And it's like, forget everyone else's garbage. Just listen to what's right for you and your family. Like exactly what
Mhm.
you were doing with the trampoline with your little buddy. Like you had no idea, but follow that. Like everyone else would be like, no, you've got to give him warm milk at night and like start reading him 5 books. If you do that, he's gonna lose his mind and you're not gonna go to bed until 3 o'clock. But no,
Yes.
you definitely have the mom gene. It's just such a hard time. But there are ways to do like little micro tweaks to like really give you that breath of fresh air.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I'm definitely after this, I'm gonna go and download all the things because just with the trampoline, I'm like, ooh, yes. Light bulb moment. What
Absolutely.
else can we find out?
Absolutely. And you know what? You can always book that sleep audit call with me as well. Like I do offer that to you guys. And it's just such gold. And then I ask you these questions and it breaks you open. And like, it's just so interesting. And you get a clear sight on what's going on and next steps and everything like that. So it's just a beautiful journey.
Amazing, amazing. So, my last question for today
Mhm.
is if you could whisper just one thing to the mama who feels like she's failing, she is struggling, she's overwhelmed, she's exhausted, what would you say to her heart?
Hmm. Yeah. You do have that mom gene and you have
Mhm,
to, there's, I have always said that be a little bit selfish. It's the best thing in the world for you and your babies. And
mhm.
just kind of ease through it and give yourself some grace. This is a lot of work, and it doesn't come with a user manual, so to speak, right? But you've got this and just take a deep breath and read about your human design. I promise you, it will give you some clarity.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah, because one thing with motherhood is the whole like so many people have so many advice and tips and stuff, but like you said, every child is unique, every child is different. There's not a one thing fits all. So I love that when you dive into human design, it is unique for you and your family. So thank you so much for sharing that today. It
You're
was so
welcome.
nice to meet you and to get your time. We really appreciate it. And yeah, maybe we can have you back and dive a little bit deeper with human design for the mamas because I
I'm
love
all
that.
for it. I'm all for it, for sure. I'm totally all for it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Amy, and we will chat soon.
Thank you.